You're listening to the New Old Heads podcast, shot live every Tuesday at twitch.tv/newoldheads and released every Thursday at noon via bringingdowntheband.com. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You are now tuned into the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7th. The entire crew is not here. We have dwindled down to 3. We got Jay Moore and Red August taking care of some grown folk business. But we're still here. Starting off with my man Lonegevity, who is multitasking today. So he is playing Red August's position and on-site producing and all that is live. So y'all bear with my man. I'm gonna go to Terry first.
I'm good now.
Are you good?
Cause we have to wait till the music ends before I can come in. That's the only thing.
Fair enough.
So
I'm excited about this game you're about to give us.
I'm back.
How are you, man? You got any game for us since Jay Moore is gone?
Yeah, kicking, flying, and flapping and stuff, man. Just like it's like pimps in the clouds.
You that fly, huh?
Super fly.
That's what's up.
I'm gonna leave that alone, man.
I mean, not really. I'm just regular.
That's game, though. That's game. It's still game. Jay Diff, what's happening, man?
Salutations.
How's everything?
Everything is everything.
How's your shoe shopping going?
I'm trying to scale back, man.
You hit a lick with the Adidas, though.
I did. The Hebrew Brantleys. Yeah.
Nice pickup. You know me, I'm a hater. I was impressed.
I know. I was surprised.
Yeah. I gave you your P's, all right?
Yeah, like I said, I was surprised.
Yeah, that's a good pickup.
But it was he really wasn't trying to give me the P's.
I hated it at first,
Yeah.
and then I caught myself and said, you know what? That's a good pickup.
Yeah.
Those shoes are fire.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay out of trouble, man, so.
Hard, though, man. The algorithm gets you, man.
Yeah, it keeps
ads pop up.
Hey, yeah, they do. They know what you like.
Yeah, especially if you click on one somewhere else and you
Yeah.
scroll through Facebook, now it's 12 ads.
Yep. I don't like that shit. I caught myself.
Yeah, you did. Just be careful, brother, out there. Just scroll up. Just keep doing this. Shout out to the chat, man. The chat is alive and well, and I'm seeing a lot of laughing emojis and laugh out louds. I think they like Lonegevity and Game. So, all right, man. Let's go.
I don't know if I would call it game.
That was game.
But
No, that was game. That was game. We I don't know about the execution, but the game was there though. What you said was game.
Yeah.
The execution is something else. We'll leave that alone. All right, man. Let's go ahead and jump into the. So Hov says he doesn't charge for features, and I'm actually.
And no, you can't get one.
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised about this because I thought, a Jay-Z feature would be almost like hitting the lottery. But in an interview with Kevin Hart, he says he does the features just off his relationships, and he never charges for the features. But he did admit that there are way more no's than yeses. And he said he tries not to, string people along if he's not going to do the feature. But I was surprised at somebody of whole stature that he just would, toss features out there. Then I had to pull back and think about the features that he does. And he talked about, it's either through the relationships or if it's somebody that's extremely talented, which is a good thing. I respect that. But were you guys shocked when you heard that Hov doesn't charge for features? Because I thought it would have been a bag. In my personal opinion. No?
Mm-mm.
You think he's to a point now where it doesn't matter?
I mean, Hov is a godfather, man.
True.
I mean, he's in a position to where, like you said, he picks and chooses which songs he wants to be featured on.
Right.
He gets in there, he goes off. The song does well. Although he didn't charge on the front end, I guarantee you get some kind of royalty from that.
That part.
So it's kind of banking on, I know what this is going to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you this favor, or not even necessarily a favor. I'm gonna throw you a solid. I'm not even gonna charge you because it's not like he needs the bread
At all.
He's in a position to where he can do whatever he wants to do. And again, up and coming MCs, that doesn't mean that he's going to give you a verse just because he doesn't charge for the verse.
Right.
Because he probably wants to compete. He wants to be on a track with somebody that is his alike or somebody he considers a peer or even somebody that he considers maybe somebody he's mentoring or something. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, I really didn't see that as a big surprise at all.
I think it's dope. I just, when you look at Jay for who he is, in my mind, I'm thinking, that's got to cost. Because that's a life-changing, could we agree? That's a life-changing feature, right?
Depends on who's featured is. I mean, because if you consider His latest features have been with who? Pusha T.
I could expect that.
You can expect that. Kanye.
Right. Yep.
Nipsey.
Yep.
Yep.
These are people that you would think that he would rap with anyway.
And Jeezy said in the chat, Jay only getting on the track if it's a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's
Nas.
Yeah, Nas, Jay Electronica. He did a whole album with Jay Electronica.
Yeah.
That was a moment. I don't think the moment was necessarily great, but
and that might have been because, I mean, Jay Electronica has literally been sitting on Rock Nation for how long?
Long enough where I can't remember how long it is.
Right, so it's almost like he owed that man that.
True.
I feel like I question the actual validity of it. Like, to what extent does he mean?
How easy,
you know, like,
it?
and how long it's been that way.
Okay.
I mean, obviously he's probably telling the truth, right? But I don't know.
Do you think this applies to Jay 10 years ago?
That's
Is that what you're saying?
That's my question. Was this Jay-Z 20 years ago?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like when he was at his rise, you know. But it also could mean a couple things. It could mean that he's only focused on the mechanical royalties or his publishing aspect. So maybe he doesn't charge people for like recording, you know, like the manual label of recording. Maybe he just wants to collect percentages of streaming or percentages of publishing and stuff like that.
Back end is probably crazy.
Because if you think about it, if you're Jay-Z, doesn't matter if you charge somebody for that stuff. Your people are going to play your song, so you're going to get paid from it.
True.
So,
True.
I mean,
I think it's dope that he.
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, I get it. Like, I've never, you know, like, just personally, like, I've never been somebody that's really liked charging people for being a part of the process that I'm doing, and vice versa. Like, if I reach out somebody for a feature, if somebody wants to get me on a feature, like, if we can split stuff like after it's created, then I feel like that's fair in most instances, unless you're just super busy and then you're paying for somebody's time, right? But in general, like, I don't know. That's my personal stance. I know it's different from most people. Most people want to get paid for the beat and then get the, you know, the royalties and all that other stuff. And I think that's okay. It's just I've never really cared about that.
I've always been. I think it depends. It varies, situational sometimes, but for the most part, it's, you know, exchanging goods is something that I've always been down for. It's okay if I give you a beat here or something, then, you know, we exchange, we trade goods, like we're you know, we're helping each other out.
Right.
I've never been opposed to that.
But it does depend on who the person is.
That's what I'm saying.
Depends on what it is.
It does.
But I always try to only work with people that I want to work with. You know, like I don't think I've ever sold a beat to anybody that I'm like, man, you suck. Like, why would I do that? Like,
Yeah.
It's gonna sound better too if you're working with somebody you want to work with. And that's essentially what Jay-Z is doing.
Yeah.
Like he said, he doesn't say yes. He said there's more no's than yeses.
Yeah.
So obviously he's picking and choosing what he jumps on.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear him do something with Tyler, the Creator.
That would be a good one.
that would be cool.
I think that would be a moment right there because
That would be
Tyler showed
interesting.
that he can indeed rap with his last album.
But I needed to be,
you know,
I needed to be, to your point, if it's Tyler, it needs to be a Tyler record. I don't want him to try to do something
definitely.
for Jay. You know what I mean? Like for Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Stay in your bag and bring him to
Which I
your
think
world. You know what I'm saying?
I think he could. I think he would. You know, that I've got so much respect for Tyler, and it just continues to grow. I don't know.
I agree.
Like, I'm not even trying to fanboy. Like I legitimately appreciate what he does. But Tyler's got one of my favorite rap lines in a long time. He said, "I got so much self-respect. I wash my hands before I piss."
Yo, he's I'm not gonna say I missed it, but I was blind to it in the beginning. I'm like, he's a guy that's he's just goofy, he's silly, he's goofy, and that's what I took him as. But as I started listening to the music, I started seeing videos of him making beats and got better as an MC. Our dude is nice. I've been a fan ever since.
Yeah,
he's cold.
I saw, I think it was just today on Twitter, actually. Tyler said, "Lost my phone, so if you're going to message me, don't. If you know who has my phone, contact me." That's like, don't message me.
And he be giving Khaled fits too, so I like that.
That's just a bonus.
Khaled love Jay-Z.
Oh, man. He got an album coming out. You hype?
Who does?
Khaled?
I mean, he has an album coming out every year.
Are you hyped though?
No.
Okay.
Have you ever been hyped?
Have you ever been hyped for
Khaled released an album?
I was just asking. I ain't know.
It's more so some of the tracks. I mean, because his last, was that his last? He, like I said, he drops one every year. That one track he had with the baby, or was it Lil Baby? I be getting them confused. Baby and Dirk. That mug was cold.
Now he gonna give you about 3 out of 25 now. And with the 67 features, it's gonna be about 3 on there where you like, yeah, that's
it'll be some that's gonna hit. But as an overall project, I'm not looking forward to a Khaled release. If I could get a Jay-Z release this year,
that would be good.
If I could get another Nas release this year,
and Hit Boy,
yeah,
yep.
Nas, Hit Boy.
Mm-hmm.
If I could get
I need Killer Mike's album.
Yeah, I could use a solo from Killer Mike.
I could use that.
Yeah.
I mean, in contrast to what we're talking about with Jay, Snoop said he wants $250,000 for a verse and another $250,000 to show up in the video.
But
that's $500,000.
But that's Snoop, and Snoop is about getting money by any means necessary, as you can tell by the bazillion commercials and things he does and everything.
Snoop is getting to the paper.
Like Snoop. Like, I have a video on YouTube that Snoop's people went and got money from. Like, he's gotten money from stuff that I have done on his behalf. So, I mean, Snoop does that.
$500,000 for the full experience.
He's stacking.
$500,000 for
I just saw a clip of him on Martha Stewart's podcast today on TikTok.
Yeah, because she's about to have a whole strain come out because he talked her into getting into the bud business.
Not even mad.
I mean,
not either.
I mean, Snoop is the most recognizable rapper, man. You could make a case. Ever.
Everybody knows who Snoop Dogg is.
Snoop is openly, though, he embraces it. Wants to, like you said, he put his name on anything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, get your money, Snoop, but I was just trying to compare it from, legend standpoint. But Jay is on a whole different level, man. So salute to him for that. But it's something, like Lone said, it's something on that back end somewhere. Hov ain't stupid. He ain't become a Billy like.
We're also leaving out the fact that Jay-Z is married to Beyonce.
True.
I don't think they're hurting for any money.
Nah, not at all. Not at all, mate.
Not at all.
His daughter's getting credits on albums already.
Yeah.
So,
hey man,
Swiss Beats Boy can play the piano.
Sure can.
Like a mug. Like, he's really good at it.
Okay.
I guess that's him and Alicia Keys' child, right? Or is it the one?
I think it's
prior.
I think it's their kid. I think it's their child together.
Is it? Did they have a child together?
Yeah, one son.
Do they?
Remember the one that had they have one child together, I believe.
Oh, I don't know.
Because he had one in his previous relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
Why not?
Because I don't pay attention to that stuff.
Inquiring minds want to know.
And I'm not an inquiring mind.
There you go.
On Swiss Beats' personal life.
Well, Swiss Beats is about to have an EP coming out on that the Mass Appeal collab with Primo and Nas. Can't wait to hear that. I wonder what the features are going to be. Guess we have to wait and see.
Probably be a posthumous.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say that.
DMX verse.
They going to sneak one in there.
I was just going to say that.
Might turn it into a whole joint and just put splice 2 verses together.
Want to start it? I'll finish.
Yeah. And I know your ears are, I know you can't turn it off. You can hear when the verses are, you can too. When those verses are spliced versus, just something that they had around, you could tell.
Well, we know that this is most likely something that they would have just had around.
I mean, he probably got, I'm just saying, some of them are probably recorded better versus the ones they might try to patch together, but
maybe.
I don't know.
I wouldn't be mad if he had a song with DMX, a song with Eve, a Lock song, and a Nas song. I mean, what ain't we doing? 5 songs?
Yeah, I believe it's 5 tracks for each EP.
So we need one more person.
Yeah. So who will be the 5th for that? You said Nas, Eve, DMX, Locks. That's 4.
Who else?
Who would have been from that era?
Or who sounds good on a Swiss Beats beat?
I don't even know.
Yeah, outside of the people that you named, no, I don't.
He's so hit and miss for me. So
100% hit and miss. Legendary producer though, but he's definitely hit and miss.
Yeah,
I agree. Maybe I'm a hater, but oh well.
Anyways,
All right,
It's
man.
repetitive. Repetitive.
Yeah, remember him and Tim was doing their battles on IG. Like, try this, and it was boom, tap, 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 tap. I said, oh man, come on, bro.
Yeah, that's his favorite.
Yeah, he likes that one. All right, man. Let's go ahead and go to the next topic. Favorite. I thought what made me think about this was favorite hip hop moments of all time, and I was watching Fade to Black. Last night I was watching Fade to Black, and whenever I watch it all the way through.
Jay-Z movie.
Yeah, the Kanye session. Who else did he have? It was with Timbo. He was with. He's recording 99 Problems, like the concert series, Seeing Beans and all that. And it got me thinking about hip hop, like actual hip hop moments since we've been fans of hip hop. I personally think that Fade to Black documentary coming out and it quote unquote being Jay's last album, that's one of the moments, one of my favorite hip hop moments that I can remember. Cause I remember being hype about the documentary. I remember being hype about the Black album. I remember being excited about, him working with X amount of different producers. Quick, Ninth was on there, Eminem was on there, Timbo was on there. Who am I missing that produced on the Black album? Was Print?
I don't know.
Print wasn't on there.
Primo did Warning, didn't he?
Just Blaze.
No,
Just Blaze was on there.
Threats.
No, Ninth did Threats.
Ninth, yeah,
did
that's right.
Threats,
Ninth did do Threats.
Pharrell was on there with Allure. So yeah, I remember that being a dope moment. I remember being excited about that. Are there any moments that stick out to you all, just in general, where you say, "Man, that was a dope moment in hip hop"? I remember being extremely excited about XYZ happening. Is there anything that just kind of?
That was definitely a moment for me. There, like
The Black album?
even hearing that go off, I'm like, "There's no way this is Jay-Z's last. There's no way he's gonna leave like this."
Yeah,
because he was at such a high pinnacle.
Yeah.
When the Black album came out, but I will say, Get Rich or Die Trying was a moment in time that was pretty solid as far as 50 coming out. That was a sought after album.
Good call.
What else?
That's a good call, actually. I remember that.
Mine was more like a period of time as opposed to a moment.
To one thing, okay.
Yeah, like I can't really pick like a moment necessarily, except for like going to that Blue in Exile concert that we went to in Chicago. That was dope.
Yes.
You know what I mean? A3C when we went, a lot of it's related to like performing and stuff too. But
do you have a certain era in mind?
Yeah. So the era for me is right around like 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7 in that kind of area, kind of pre-blog era. I remember I and the reason why is because I was just discovering everything. That was like I was already familiar with Like Water for Chocolate, but that's around the time that I got familiar that Dilla did it. And so I got into learning what his past was, That's where I got hip to Murs and Ninth Wonder's album, which then turned me on to Little Brother, which then turned me on to a whole slew of West Coast music, and went down that entire rabbit hole of like Alchemist and Dilated Peoples and all the underground West Coast legends, Blue in Exile. I remember I found out about that album on a San Diego message board that I was a part of,
I think you told Pete Say who put me on.
If
I'm not mistaken.
Bro, I don't even know at this point, but what I will say is that moment in time there's just so much music discovery. And I think that's the part that I keep trying to like, when I latch onto it, like I'm never going to be able to get back to that moment.
Right.
But plus it was before we started blogging and I kind of got tired of music. Yeah. I don't know how to explain it if you haven't been there, but it's,
it's definitely, it's real.
I'll
say another big moment for me in hip hop was, when Wu-Tang Forever came out.
Oh man.
And going to that tour, which actually was the last time they came to Indianapolis as a group.
Yeah.
That was when did that drop? 97 or 90?
7, I always heard. But
summer 97.
Yeah, summer. Yep.
Man, that concert was epic. Like
that's a local legend.
Yeah, it was so I'm down there getting chills thinking about it because it was just such a moment.
Yeah.
that it was so much energy in there that you can't even really describe it, man. But it was awesome.
I will also say for me,
Double LP World Excited.
I will also say like hearing Eminem for the first time was super unique because it was like, who is this random? Because it was My Name Is was the single and it was on TRL.
Yeah.
And I remember somebody on the bus coming home from high school that doesn't even listen to hip hop music told me about it. It was some random woman, a girl, and I just like, no, never heard of him, but just like, it was just so different. I'd never really seen like a white rapper before,
He stood in that manner. He stood way out.
And he stood way out. He was just different. I didn't really know what to think of him, to be honest.
I didn't, honestly, when I first heard Eminem, I wasn't about to mess with him because My Name Is just like, all right, look at this little blonde hair dude. Like when I was thinking of hip hop dudes that was white that would rap, I'm thinking Beastie Boys. I'm thinking Third Base.
MC Search.
Yeah, that's Third Base.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Or even House of Pain, and I didn't really like House of Pain.
Yeah.
But so when I seen Eminem, and it was like, man, who is this dude? And then, I mean, if you were to go by his first song or first single, about how he really is, then you actually would have missed out on some dope shit or stuff,
Yep.
You know where it is. Yeah. But anyway, it just wasn't it for me. Not that song. It was like TRL stuff.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't it. But
and I think that's why we always talk about like how Eminem brought like an entire white fan base over.
Yeah. 100%.
And because he was just so shockingly different. Like I remember like I already listened to hip hop, but it was just like, this is different. I don't know. Like even his first single was like, I don't know. It was like kind of comical. It was like a comic book.
It was comical.
I mean, he had on the superhero suit with the E on it, and you know what I mean. All the crazy stuff.
There's no way I would have thought that same Eminem would have been the Eminem that we know today. There's no way.
Right.
I'm thinking. Nate Jeezy says "Bombs Over Baghdad." Was a crazy movie.
Oh yeah.
Smooth Loser said "Stagger Lee." Oh Lord.
Oh man.
What was Stagger Lee? What was his big BT hit?
Oh,
I don't even remember.
Oh man, I remember Stagger Lee.
Nate is right about Bombs Over Baghdad.
I'm gonna agree with him on Outkast. Period. Outkast was a group that I look forward to hearing every time they came out. Like I had to have whatever new Outkast was dropping. So yeah.
What about I'm gonna throw this at you guys. What about this one?
Country Grammar.
Country Grammar was a moment.
That was a hit.
Yeah, that was a moment.
It was just plus it was like Midwest music too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What about let me fact check my album, make sure I'm correct. Hip hop is dead with Nas around that time when,
that album did not.
I didn't care about that.
I'm talking about Black Republicans with Jay and Nas.
Okay, I mean that was a moment.
I think that was a moment too. Even though that album wasn't the craziest, it had some heat on there, but it wasn't the crazy. The album wasn't the
that was just
album.
A moment because that just meant that the Jay-Z Nas beef was squashed.
Because you remember they had to sit down on MTV, right? And who did that interview?
They had a performance at or somewhere or another
where he brought Nas out.
Yeah, that
was a moment. And then I remember seeing the track list and it saying Black Republicans and it had Jay on it. And I'm like, oh
yeah.
And they sampled. What was the sample for that song?
I don't know.
Oh man, you know it if you hear it. Either way, I thought that was a pretty cool moment. Lone, I like yours about that era. I like that because I remember that era.
Because like I remember that. I mean, when I think about even my high school years, my high school years was something you can consider the golden age of just some of the dopest stuff I've ever heard in my life, and maybe taking that era for granted because you're living it. So it's like you're thinking everything is going to sound like this, and it doesn't. But like between, I would say 94 to 98.
That's a good era.
A whole bunch of stuff mixed up in there. I mean, my senior year, Biggie and Tupac died my senior year. First semester, Tupac. Second semester, Biggie. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And those were soundtracks for me. Yeah. Literally.
I mean,
that's a good era.
This
That's
whole
a good era.
this whole like conversation goes back to when we were talking about how music kind of marks time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of my moments are specifically related to finding out about stuff or something like that. Like I remember, I can still visualize when you picked me up when we went to play that Martin Luther King Jr. thing.
At the Wigwam, yep.
And you played Ghostface.
Supreme Clientele.
Yeah, you played the skip track. Like that, you know, like it stands out. And that was what, 98, 9, 10, or 2000? I don't know. One of those years.
Yeah,
right?
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, so because it came out in 2000, I think, or 99, one or two. But
yeah.
so like that stands out to me. You know, like buying Jurassic 5's album and then not liking it stands out to me. You know, like
I remember being in the record store on a Tuesday when that was coming out.
Yeah.
And looking at that, and I think I ended up that was 99, because I want to say Full Clip came out the same day. Gangstar, and I was like, I'm going with this Gangstar.
So you chose better than I did.
Yeah.
Shouts to Charlie Tuna, but that Gangstar only had that Jurassic 5 only had like 2 cuts I liked.
Yeah, I was cool on that one.
Hey, I remember I know exactly where I was at. You brought up Little Brother. I know exactly who I was with and where I was at when I heard The Listening for the first time. That was a moment, because I'm like, who are these guys from, you know, the South that sound like this? They're not supposed, on paper, they're not supposed to sound like this.
Yeah.
You know, and it blew my mind how nice the beats were, and their chemistry, and Fonte obviously stood out. But I remember being like, I don't know who, old boy can rap too, though. I remember saying that, you know,
right.
we were talking about that. So that was, finding Little Brother was definitely a moment.
Yeah, for me too. And so was like listening to Blue and Exile, because I held out on it for a while, because everybody that was on this message board that I was on, shouts to anybody that's listening that was on Access Hip Hop based out of San Diego. I think it's still a record store. But like Blame One, shouts to Blame One. Like he's a rapper. He's a personal friend of Exile. Like he was on that message board. And shouts to Ricky Raw. He was on that, linked up and done stuff with Ricky. He got us on A through C the very first time. But there's a whole bunch of musicians and stuff, and they were talking about it obviously fresh off the press, because there are people there that literally knew them. And I was like, yeah, I'll get around to it. And then I listened to it and I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, I slept on it for a little while too. I don't think I heard that album until like probably 2011.
Yeah, man, I remember hearing that album, and you know, the Yo-Yo. I remember first time hearing that, and what's the
hey Yo-Yo, what up, yo?
What's the joint they dropped? What's the single off that album?
Talking about The Listening?
The Listening. What was the
It's not Whatever You Say, is it?
Was it Whatever You Say?
No. It's
Speed.
Oh, Speed.
Speed. I remember hearing that.
Too fast for me.
Yeah, like I'm like, these dudes they're gonna bring it. This is great. I was remember being excited about that. So
Kendrick Lamar, Section 80 was a moment.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, who said? Did somebody say
moment.
that?
No, I just did.
Okay,
But,
okay.
No, that was a moment. That whole Kendrick era before blowing up was a moment, because like literally everything he was dropping was just refreshing.
𝗀𝗏 Corinthians is
super
converted me all the way over. I listened to that song. My boy Boog was getting married, and I picked up, you know, Brent Dean. I picked him up.
Yeah.
He picked me up at the airport. He's like, man, you got to hear this Kendrick Lamar, man. It's this 𝗀𝗏 Corinthians. And BJ the Chicago Kid is on the hook. And I remember we played that song like 20 times in a row. I'm like, who is this dude? Then I went back to Overly Dedicated.
Yeah.
I believe that was the one prior to that. And, you know, we've talked about, do they call Section 80 an album or whatever,
right.
But I remember hearing that song, and I'm like, this dude is that guy. He's about to be, you know, one of those guys.
It was a weird moment in time. I legitimately thought, I was like, oh, Kendrick could like change the landscape of music.
Exactly. Yeah. He can be one of those guys.
That was before I realized that nobody can really change the landscape.
Because honestly, I was listening to J. Cole before I was listening to Kendrick. Because Kendrick was dropping, I mean, not Kendrick, but J. Cole was dropping a lot of material on that Piff back then. So I was catching all of his mixtapes back then, and then I got hip to Kendrick.
I didn't realize how nice Cole was. I'm the opposite. I got on Cole later, but I didn't realize how nice he was until I heard I remember the album, but I was asleep on the mixtapes that he's talking about leading up to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go backwards and listen. I'm like, this dude he been blacking out 2 or 3 years before I even found out about him. I didn't know he was that nice.
Yeah.
Like high quality bars, or just destroying everything. So
Now, what
What's up?
Smooth Hoosier just brought up, hearing Drake So Far Gone, I will attest to that was a moment for me, because hearing this dude that could rap and somewhat hold a note here and there, it was dope. It was dope as a whole project, as an album, whatever you want to call it.
It was a fire joint with Lil Brother on that.
Yeah, Drake had the formula to blow. I mean, and he's proved that he could do it.
100%.
I mean, he's still here. I mean, a lot of his stuff sounds the same.
Yeah.
It's not as experimental as So Far Gone and Comeback Season.
Yep.
But I mean,
I would agree that that's a moment too, because he had there was a groundswell around him. It started to, people started talking about him, and when I heard that joint with Lil Brother, I'm like, oh man, he reaching out to Lil Brother. That's dope.
mm-hmm.
And
So he did reach out to Fonte, is what you're saying.
No, he's still all Fonte. I ain't backing off that. And it hurts my soul to know that Fonte could have been on Lord Knows. Oh man.
Yeah, Fonte was a whole wave.
It bothers me.
A whole wave for me too. Like finding out about Fonte and Little Brother, like he's still my favorite rapper.
Yeah, Foreign Exchange.
Just the whole, again.
Yeah.
It started with that Murs and Ninth Wonder, Murs 16 album, which I think is a classic album.
That Murs 316?
Because that exposed me to everybody that Murs was kind of connected to on the West Coast, and everybody that Little Brother and Ninth Wonder was connected to. And it was a lot of people. It's amazing what collaborations can do.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
That was a good moment in time.
Yeah, man. Like you said, we can't get it back. So it's good to at least think about those memories. Those were some good times. Classic material. All right, man, let's shout out our partners here, Lone.
Thanks to our partners. Dr. Coleman of Coleman Dental is our go-to dentist. He's a longtime Indianapolis arts and music supporter located right in Broad Ripple. Printfinity is a screen printing shop based in Indianapolis, owned and operated by our own DJ Jay Diff. Our good friends at Indie CD and Vinyl operate one of the best record stores in North America. Shop new and used in their site or visit them in person. And the best way to support the New Old Heads is to visit our Patreon and become a member for as little as $3 a month. All details on newoldheads.com. All right.
Shout out to our partners as always. We appreciate that. If you're in the chat, make sure you look at that Patreon link. That's some $3 hollers and some more stuff that we're working on. Y'all sign up, join, and get some suggestions for the show, and possibly perhaps be on with us at some point. We're still ironing out some bugs, as they say.
But it's coming.
It's coming. So
yeah,
make sure y'all click on that Patreon. All right, man. So Method Man does not believe that signing to an artist, good thing. Rapper signing to an artist label. Now, he says that he doesn't think, he's always felt like.
Do we have examples of this?
Well, the conversation was on Math Hopper's. You remember you talked about Adam 22 and you were saying the comment or something. It was on that podcast. Method Man was with them. And he said, he's always felt like you can't sign to somebody who's still trying to be an artist. He says it's hard. They can't give you the time or attention that you probably need and deserve unless you are your own machine. So Math and the rest of the guys in the shop start giving examples.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. But
they talked about Drake, Wayne, Nicki, the Young Money conglomerate. All those people were active artists that were kind of umbrellaed under Cash Money, Wayne, and that thrived. So
that's an anomaly, though.
That's what I was about to say. Is that more of an anomaly? Because Lone, you pretty much jumped out and said you agree 100%. He even used Diddy as an example. He talked about how he was still wanting to be an artist.
More people on Young Money didn't make it than that did make it. I mean, you got, like you said, you have Wayne, which is essentially the owner, president,
right,
or whatever you want. No, Mac Main is like the president or whatever. But anyway, when you think of Young Money, you think of Lil Wayne,
right?
Then you got Drake. Then you got Nicki Minaj. But what about like Lil Twist and even Tyga and all of them? Tyga will probably be next in line as far as the most popular people that were on Young Money, but you don't even remember none of the other artists.
I mean, look at We were talking about Khaled. Look at this "We the Best" imprint. I can't name.
I don't know anybody. I thought
Yeah.
I didn't even know if anybody was on there except for him.
I
No,
mean,
it
he's-
was him and
what's
was
my boy name? Oh man, I would not remember it now. I don't know the roster because
he was
you
on a
never
lot
really,
of the early stuff.
Yes, but I can't call a dude's name, but I know who you're talking about.
Ace Hood.
Was Ace Hood?
Yeah, that's
okay,
him.
Ace Hood,
Shout out to Smooth Hood.
who actually has some dope records. Ace Hood has some dope records, but after that, I can't think of
That was
any
it.
of the We the Best artists. And I know there's more than
Was
Ace Hood.
Pitbull a We the Best artist, or was he?
I don't know. He went out and got some other paper.
Yeah, he
You know
got
what I'm
that.
I don't know. The reason why I jumped into it so quick was because I started a label, and I kind of changed how the label moves because of how hard it is to do artist development and to manage other people when you're trying to, like, just exactly what he's saying. Like, if you're still trying to pursue and do stuff yourself, it's really hard to like put a ton of effort into the development of other people.
Mhm.
Now, I feel like if you do it from an angle of where, like a modern day label, to where you're just kind of using the said artist exposure a little bit,
But you're your own machine that
but
he was talking about.
exactly, if you're your own machine in that aspect, I think that maybe it would be okay. You know what I mean? But like, just yeah, I kind of agree.
Is
with
it
that.
fair to say that artists now know that before they sign an artist, they're expecting the artist to come in as their own machine because of social media and the likes, and there had to be a reason for them to go to them, right? So
Yeah.
I'm thinking a lot of the artists now are coming into these late, like what's my girl's name that you talked about that signed to Yo Gotti,
Glorilla.
right? She had to been doing something.
I mean,
Get him
she
to-
has a hot song. She has one of the hottest songs in the country right now.
and is her following matches that, right?
Yeah.
So she will probably fall under the category of being her own machine. So Gotti wouldn't have to, do what Lone is talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
You know
for
what I
sure.
mean?
Yeah, if you have your own machine, then just like now, there's an artist that Russ has signed. There's two of them that Russ has signed, but obviously Russ is super independent, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But he signed two people. There's one dude, he's a black rapper, and then there's a white woman that won one of his challenges.
I remember reading that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
His
they
name's
both,
something Kate something.
yeah, or something. But
Kate
they
got
both,
bands or.
but they
something
both
like that.
have like huge followings, and they both are doing their own thing. Like they're following Russ's like the way
Formula.
that yeah, exactly. So I feel like if you do it in that manner, and then every once in a while you can bank on Russ to do something, I think it's okay. But there is something to be said to where like there's only so much that like an artist. What else was Meth kind of saying in that besides like?
Well, he just was what Meth's the basis of it was he doesn't think that an artist can thrive if they're signed to another artist label because of what we talked about. Like, there's just too much stuff going on. What you talked about when you start the label. Now, when Math and the rest of the guys in the shop started naming Drake and Wayne and going through that, Meth kind of jumped in and was like, "Yeah, I feel you, but they probably have staffs that help with that also."
Yeah, and there's always exceptions. Like that's
Right.
there's nothing is like just black and white on and off. Like there's always going to be that one person that, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe it is the simple fact that some people take more initiative and more people don't just kind of bank on somebody's celebrity status or already to help push them. Maybe they're like, no, I still got to keep doing my thing. But this to me, I don't even know if this is really necessarily like artist thing because labels would shelve artists. This has been going back for
Oh yeah.
decades. You know
And
what I
they
mean?
was shelving people based off of the artist development area though.
Right.
Which is essentially it equates to having your own thing popping right now.
Right.
Is essentially the artist development area. But Conway actually spoke about being signed to Shady Records and not having a whole lot of interaction with Eminem.
Right.
And that he was closer to, what did he say? It was somebody else he was saying he was closer to,
That was
versus-
on that label.
or somewhere involved or around there than he
Okay.
was with M. He was like, I might have sat down with him a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? So,
This is only the management level, you mean?
right.
Mm.
So if you're in a position like that to where you're thinking, me being signed to Shady is about to change my life.
Right.
And then you get there and it's like, nothing's going on. I mean, you can even think about Dr. Dre with Aftermath.
Yeah.
He had, at one point in time, he had Eminem, Rakim, Busta Rhymes, Eve. Eve was on Aftermath before she was Rough Riders.
True.
He ended up having to jump ship. But
a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, I
Was
think
Rage on
Freddie
Aftermath?
Gibbs was a part of some
Freddie Gibbs was on CTE.
Yeah, but it was
with
before that.
Jeezy.
I think it was before that though.
I don't know.
If it was a smaller stint. I think you're right.
No, that's what I mean.
It
wasn't something like that lasted longer. He even got like pushed out, but he was like, maybe I could be getting him mixed up with
He had a
somebody
stint,
else.
but
I'm talking like 2007, 8.
Freddie had a stint with Def Jam first before.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
Then. Maybe that's what I'm thinking
when he was
of.
putting
I
out.
thought Jeezy was on Def Jam anyway.
But Def Jam South or something.
Yeah.
I'm talking about just Def Jam before he went to the CTE imprint. Like he just.
Oh, I see.
He had a little stint with Def Jam, just a regular Def Jam. But nah, man, it's interesting.
It depends. Yeah. Obviously, it doesn't work for everybody.
Right.
So, Method Man can be talking from experience, maybe.
Good.
With being signed to Wu-Tang, but the thing about what GZA did, or RZA,
yeah,
he let them sign wherever they wanted to, so he didn't hold them hostage to just work under that same umbrella.
Right.
So that may be why Method Man sees it as maybe that might be a crutch if you're signed to an artist and you can't really do you because they're so worried about doing them. Yeah. Maybe he doesn't see it like that, but I mean, I can see it both ways.
Yeah, and I do. I mean, if there's a choice between signing with a really good label that has like great management and knows how to push you out there versus like just a name, I would always choose like the people that's their job. You know what I mean?
More security.
Well, not even well, maybe, but I feel
structure is maybe what I mean to say. More structure.
I feel like it's
competition.
It's their thing. It's like their thing.
Yeah.
You know, like if it's my thing to just manage artists, then you're probably going to want to hire me to manage you than Drake.
Yeah.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Like, or maybe not, because Drake just off him alone is going to be able to.
He going to get you in position.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but that's what I mean. Like somebody that is a rapper that has a little bit of clout, because they're not going to like work it. You know, so I feel like in that aspect, it makes sense to.
Or be worried about you outshining them. And that's how Young Money was able to flourish, because Lil Wayne wasn't worried about anybody outshining him. He wanted everybody to be dope. And he went away and did his bid. He went away and did his bid, and they carried the torch for him.
True.
So, I mean, it just worked out that way for them.
Shout out to Smooth Hoosier. He literally just said that in the chat.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
He said everyone won't let you shine like Michael Bivins did with Boys II Men.
Hey, it's true. There you go.
That's true.
So, I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
So.
And he let them eat.
Oh, yeah.
Boys II Men.
People be forgetting how instrumental that Mike Bivins was in their career.
Yeah, they ate. I'm talking about they ate good. I've never heard Boys II Men speak ill of Michael Bivins that I know. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe y'all saw an interview or somebody in chat can correct me, but I've never heard them say anything bad about Michael Bivins. Oh, yeah.
He put them in a position to win.
And they Boys II Men low key turned into their own machine.
They absolutely did.
You know what I mean?
When you think about late 90s,
yeah.
If you ain't thinking about Jodeci, or late 90s Dru Hill,
yeah,
you shit. I
there
said it
we
again.
Go. Let's think this
but Boys II Men, you know?
Yeah.
Boys II Men was solid. But like you like them the crooning.
Come on,
the whining, yay.
Come on, man. We're not about to disrespect Boys II Men.
It ain't disrespect when it's the truth.
I feel you.
You know, because when you sing about a woman that did you completely wrong,
come on,
and you
let's
don't
not
care,
do this, man. Let's not do this. That's a good record, though.
It's a good record.
You like it?
I do.
All right.
But still, when you really sit down and listen to you, like, or is that the decision you're gonna make, Mike?
No, it's not. I'm just saying
really?
The song. But the song. It's a good song, man.
End of the Road is a song we're talking about, people.
It's a lot of yeah, they singing about some stuff.
A lot of simping going on in there.
Yo, it's just like they played it out on the Living Color skit. The exact same thing.
Man, I don't know if I'm going out like that.
I don't know if I can go out like that either, but you know, they turned it into a good record, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, they was in their bag. They was making good records back then.
Most slept on Boys to Men record.
The most slept on Boys to Men record?
And it was a single, but I still don't think it gets the love. Is the one where Water Runs Dry when they was out on the
That wasn't no slept on record.
I don't think
that was a hit record.
I don't think it get the P's like the rest of them though. End of the Road. What's the biggest singles? It don't get love like Motown Philly. It don't get love like I have to pull the 2 album up. The 2 album.
So you made me forget the one I was thinking when you hit me with the Water. I mean, you
Water Runs Dry was fire though.
That's a hit song.
You think it get the love like
Man, that's a hit song, man.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know if you get the love like
Please Don't Go Away is a song that don't get the love.
I think people home on that one.
I don't know.
It's Lone's ring. Lone, ain't that your ring? Never mind.
I think it'd be more likely to be your ringtone.
All right, man.
Yeah, you tripping on Water Runs Dry.
Maybe I'm tripping.
The hit song, man. That record might have been a diamond single.
It might have been a diamond single. Yo, maybe I'm tripping out there, world. I apologize. I just did. I don't know, man. I never hear that one.
Man,
I'll Make Love to You was way bigger than that.
That was on the radio all the time.
But bro, I'll Make Love to You on Bend the Knee are bigger, way bigger than Water Runs Dry.
Come on, man.
You sure?
It's like a 3-pack, man.
Yeah.
It like really kind of is.
Yeah,
like,
you don't miss them. Them are not misses.
All right, man. All right.
I still.
Now the one that I mentioned is one that don't get. Please Don't Go Away is not.
That's a banger.
That is not a song that was played like that.
What album was that off of?
Their first
That's
one?
the first one.
Motown Philly.
And Thank You is one of the coldest intros. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
It ain't sound like that, but well, yeah.
If you sign up for our Patreon, that's literally the video that plays.
Yeah.
Wait, I could be wrong. I think that is. I don't know.
Is that the noise when we get a new song?
If the flood's in there, he'll be able to tell us. It's like a link pops up, and it's just like that video of them doing that song.
Shout out to Dallas Austin, who actually said in an interview that Boyz II Men was trash to work with, and they used to
use auto-tune.
No, they used to. Around this time, he said, coming off the first album, you couldn't tell them anything. They wanted to produce
Somebody
all the
else
records.
said that. Who was that? It was a Candy from Escape said that Boyz II Men was trash to work with.
Word?
Yeah.
I know Dallas Austin said around this time, the 2 album, he said you couldn't work with them. He said they wanted to produce everything, and they was trying to tell him how to produce, and that's why he only did just the intro and wrote out.
Well, it worked out for them.
Dallas Austin is a wrestler, right?
Nah, man. He was a hit producer back in the day.
He was also a wrestler, though, right? Who am I thinking of?
You thinking of
Diamond Dallas Page.
Dallas Page, yeah.
My bad.
Yo, Dallas Austin, we apologize, man. It's all right. We don't get him in the comments,
hand
y'all.
in hand with like TLC, and he was big on the early Atlanta sound with LaFace.
Yeah, he's
Gotcha.
He preceded Jermaine Dupri and them and all that, if I'm not mistaken. Don't get
his little brother was in Another Bad Creation. He wasn't really in it. He was like the extra dude in Another Bad Creation.
The one that was like playing. He was the DJ or something like that.
Yeah, he was just the one that said their names and had a bullhorn or something. I don't know.
Let's see, the Flood said Longevity with the disrespect to Dallas Austin. Hey, Flood, that's why I was telling, man, no, don't run him out of business, bro. It was just an honest mistake, man. So shout out to Diamond Dallas. shout out to Diamond Dallas Page, though.
Hey, for real.
And,
the Diamond Cutter.
Yeah, the Diamond Cutter. Yeah. WCW, we see y'all. I know it's gone now, but we see y'all.
World Championship Wrestling. Anyways.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right.
I won by myself. I don't need Elizabeth.
Yo. What is going on right now? And shout out to Goldust. If y'all know who that is, Goldust was that dude.
He was not that dude.
He was nice though.
I ain't never liked
Goldust. You ain't like his antics, but
man, I ain't like him at all. He just look at him when he come out. It's like, man, what is this, man? I don't want to see this dude.
He did have gold dust though in his hand.
He was trash.
He looked like CeeLo when he got all dressed up.
He did.
He looked
Good
like
call.
A big overgrown CeeLo.
Yeah,
with long hair.
CeeLo looked like a fool in that outfit. I'm sorry.
So did Goldust.
All right, man. Let's get the hip hop producer GOAT. conversation that we have tried to expedite as we continue to go up the list.
Let's see, let's pull this up here.
This is gonna be
TV
interesting because we got
it's just me.
Huh?
Hold on, let me
we got the
TV
late
here.
great 𝗏𝗏 is up next.
There we go.
So I have his discography. I'll kind of run through that while Lone is
Good, go ahead and start.
You good?
Producing.
Yeah, you can go through.
All right, so 𝗏𝗏, we all know 𝗏𝗏, and rest in peace to the OG. Went through the discography. We all know Sex Package. He produced the whole album. So, you know, that right there alone is we know what that album
That's a
was.
classic.
Yeah,
I don't really know that. Who is this?
Digital Underground.
Digital Underground.
Oh, yeah. I was never really huge in the digital. That's kind of before my time a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was like 89, 90, 91.
Yeah, early.
Yeah.
You know, Pac was a roadie with them, and you know he got on that same song and destroyed it, and it was a rap. So
That was even after Sex Packets.
show us
Because that was featured on the soundtrack of...
what's the Dan Aykroyd movie, Long? Where
Which one?
I hate you.
Trading Places.
No,
No.
man. Terry's right. I can't think of the name of the movie though, but it was a Dan Aykroyd joint, right?
Yeah.
He was in the movie.
I
Anyway,
can't remember the movie, but Dan Aykroyd, had paint all on their face.
remember that
and
movie?
Prosthetics.
early '90s.
Coneheads?
No, not Coneheads.
Nah.
Before Coneheads.
Prosthetics.
Yeah, he looked weird in the.
Who else was in it?
Some other people.
Oh, you talk. I'll have to look it up. Yeah.
Go to Dan Aykroyd's movie
I'll
page,
figure
early
it out.
'90s.
I'll figure that out. Yeah.
All right, so
Nothing but trouble.
Nothing But Trouble. That's
Thank
the
you,
movie.
Flood. Thank you.
Thank you. The Flood is on it. Appreciate
There
you. All right, man. So there's more Digital Underground, and then we start getting into some Pac records. Rebel Underground, Words of Wisdom. Let's see.
What I Want to Do for Love, Tupac.
Yep. I Get Around. Come on, man. You already know what that is. That's huge. Let's see. So Many Tears.
Bobby Brown.
Getaway remix. Yep. He's got joints with the Loonies. Let's see.
Did his production reign kind of stop like in the 90s though? For the
As
most
I
part?
go through, I
Late
believe
90s.
late '90s. I believe you're right. Let's see. He has some of these artists. Okay, let's see. Prince. That's big. Love Sign. 1998. Let's see. He got a Mac Mall joint in
Saphir.
2001. KRS-One got a joint with Murs in 2002. Yeah, it stops at 2004 alone, and the rest of it is just guest appearances. So his joints with Pac are the iconic joints. Obviously, his work with Digital Underground is iconic. Bobby Brown remix, you can throw that in there. Working with the Loonies. Shout out to the West Coast. I think those are the highlights. And Terry, you can see the list as well,
Yeah.
unless I'm missing something. Yeah.
How Many Tears, Tupac.
That's big.
Man.
That's big. That's real big. I Get Around.
I
is
woke up and
huge.
screamed, F the world. They try to say it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
F
You know,
the
that's
word.
one of my favorite albums ever.
That it is. But yeah, he's those records are legendary. Now, you know, he might get hogtied on some of the other categories, but he got some iconic records. Let's go ahead and go into our list, as we always do with the criteria for 𝗏𝗏. Influence, impact on peers, and upcoming producers.
I'm going to give him a 9
You give him a 9? Okay.
on influence. I mean, he kind of was one of them G-Funk pioneers, honestly.
I'm not mad at that. I think I'm gonna go
7.
He
I was gonna
sampled a
say-
lot of
I was gonna go 7 too.
early. He sampled a lot of Parliament Funkadelic stuff early,
Yeah.
which kind of led Dr. Dre and them down that same rabbit hole.
I ain't mad at that.
You know, so
Yeah.
I mean that influence right there.
Dre just was on steroids with it, took it to the next level.
That's why I have to give him a 9 on the influence.
I'm gonna go 7 Long.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 7 too. You want me to?
Oh yeah, let me see if it lets me enter. I don't know why. I should have checked.
Oh,
with
you
this.
having that issue?
Yeah, I should have checked with you before. That's my bad.
What'd you say, Terry?
I said 9.
We'll do that next week for sure to make sure I got access.
No, it's okay.
How versatile are the hip hop records?
Versatile.
He's He's in the same lane a lot.
I'll probably say about a.
But you have to think of time period too a little bit.
Yeah, that's true because you don't
I'll go
have as
7.
much to work with.
I'll go 7 on that.
7?
I'll say 7 on that too.
I'll go 7 with y'all. That's fair. I'll go 7 with y'all.
Bye.
Collaborators, different hip hop styles of artists, producers, works. So we said Loonies. He had a Prince joint thrown in there.
Not hip hop though.
And who else? Pac obviously Digital Underground, Mac Mall,
Saphir.
Yep.
Bobby Brown, not hip hop.
Not hip hop.
I'll say
Loonies,
7.
KRS-One,
Actually 6. I'm gonna have to
Murs.
say 6 on collaborators.
Okay. I'm gonna go 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I don't know. I have to throw a time period in there. I'm gonna go 7. I feel like it's a little bit different, harder to.
Yeah, I guess you're
I can
right.
appreciate that.
I'm gonna go with 7 too.
Yeah, I can appreciate that you take that in consideration.
I think you have to.
Yeah, that's dope. Big hits, cult classics from the producer. Now, we named some huge records.
I'm gonna go 8.
Yeah, I'm feeling 8 on this one. Those are timeless records. The big ones are timeless records.
I can agree with you guys on that.
Consistency, quality of the material released.
7.
I'm gonna go 6. The highs are high, but
Yeah. I'll go 7 too. Actually.
Okay.
7.
Body of work. How great is the overall body of work?
I'm giving him an 8.
Yeah. Yes. I don't think I'm mad at an 8. We can do that.
I'm gonna go 7.
I'll do 8. How often are the songs great for their beats? Final product.
I'm gonna go 7.
He's living at that 7 mark.
Yeah. I can't argue with 7, bro.
Because he's better than average. You know what I'm saying?
He is better than
Yeah,
average.
that's what I mean. Like,
I'm not mad at that. You say 7 too long?
yeah.
All right, melodic elements. Use samples or originals. I didn't know he played the piano on.
Yeah, he
I
get
Get
busy
Around.
on melodies.
Yeah, his key game is high,
I'm
way
gonna say
higher
8.
than I thought.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say 8 on melodies.
I'm gonna give him a strong. I'm gonna go 9. I was impressed with him on the keys. I didn't know I didn't know he could play piano like that.
He had a song on his first album called "The Piano Man."
True.
How great were the melodies, though?
He had
Outside of being able to play them, like,
I'll put it to you this way: he wasn't as Ninth Wonder says, tinking.
Nah, he wasn't.
He
and then the
wasn't
sample
tink-tinking.
game is out of this world. Honestly,
tinking.
He wasn't tinking on the piano. I say that.
I'll go 8.
I can vouch for him on that.
Drums, I'll go 6.
I'll go 7 on drums.
yeah, I'm gonna say 7 on drums.
Man, Ninth Wonder be saying tink.
He said he's not just tinking. I saw that clip. There's playing and then there's playing. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah. Ninth was upset, boy. They was talking about the producers.
No, Shock G
telling
was a
him
solid producer, man.
facts. So let's see what it scored. Well, it's only 3 of us, but he got a 7.3.
7.3 is solid for Shock G.
Yeah, that's respectable. He did not get hogtied.
And then I like how you brought up. You have to consider the era that he produced in,
Yes.
which would weigh who he worked with. You know what I'm saying? So
He worked with a lot of people for his era.
yeah.
You know, so, and he's super slept on.
Yeah.
Like, super,
Absolutely.
super slept on.
I'm glad. I'm going to have to remember that from a context standpoint as we continue. That's a good point.
I mean, even his style, like creating the character Humpty Hump,
Yeah.
is based off of Parliament Funkadelic.
Yeah.
Sir knows the funk.
Mhm.
So
And they kind of had that vibe with their live show.
Yeah,
Remember
definitely.
how crazy their live show was? I mean, Pac was a background dancer
Yeah.
and a roadie. You know what I'm saying?
they had the game on lock for a little minute.
Facts.
Okay.
All right, man. So do we have time long for Mike Will Made It? Because you know his discography is going to be.
I'll say we probably hold that one.
We
too.
got
Wanna hold
about,
that one?
We got about a minute left
Yeah.
for the show. So
Well, I guess
Yeah,
we
we
have
tuck that one till next
tuck that
week.
one.
yeah,
because his discography is going to be stupid.
we can hold off on that. So who we got? Who we got coming up here? We got DJ Paul, Juicy J,
That's going to be good.
Michael Made It, Crisis. Dan.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into some of the guys.
DJ Toop's coming up. That's now we getting in there.
Illmind,
Warren G,
Pimp to
Illmind,
see, yeah.
Pimp.
I'm gonna say
Yeah.
Shock G is better than Warren G.
I would agree. You like Shock G?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
He's always been an
Yeah.
advocate for
But
sex package though.
You also like early Tupac stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Shock G's all over that
Yeah.
in multiple ways.
Warren G is going to be interesting. I'll just say that. I'm thinking Terry is right, but I'm gonna have to look at it on paper to make sure.
Without Shock G, is Warren G really a producer? Because I mean, he took those same elements that Shock G was doing, kind of introduced to the world, and created the G-Funk era.
You made a good point about the G-Funk. You made a good point. Dre just took it out this world.
Yeah.
So I ain't mad at that. All right, y'all, that's going to do it for this episode. Remember, newoldheads.com for all the education you need this year. Shout out to the chat, too. We appreciate you guys for being live and active this week and giving us some good comments. We really appreciate it. Stick around for the post show. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Minute.